and welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Olga Villaverdi.
And I'm Montel Williams.
So today we're going behind the mystery of ADH1, why your muscle cramping, fatigue, and brain fog could be genetic.
Wow. Plus, it's a red letter day because Ralph is here. Ralph is in the kitchen with some lentil pasta recipes. Ralphie!
We're bending the rules, delivering you Nona's Pasta 2.0. You're gonna have to taste it to believe it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good, doesn't it? Also, advice for your financial future.
The Balancing Act starts right now.
Let's go. Today on Behind the Mystery, we're exploring a rare genetic condition that results in chronically low levels of calcium in the blood and too much calcium in the urine.
Well, patients can experience a wide variety of symptoms from muscle cramping to weakness to seizures, even loss of consciousness.
Our story begins in Aiken, South Carolina, where we meet Craig, a man living with Autosomal Dominant Hypocalcemia Type 1, or ADH1, and his mother, Bonnie, who passionately cared for her son throughout his childhood after losing 2 children to this condition.
Let's go behind the mystery of ADH1.
I do remember, going to school and I couldn't concentrate. I would get tingling. The cramping was the worst. Just out of the blue, I would just cramp up into a fetal position sometimes. My hands would cramp up, and it was painful.
The Balancing Act met with endocrinologist Dr. Dolores Shobak to understand more about this genetic condition.
ADH1, or Autosomal Dominant Hypocalcemia Type 1, is a form of genetic hypoparathyroidism. It's a disorder where there's a mutation in the calcium-sensing receptor gene, and it's really important in the function of the parathyroid glands and in kidney function. This is an autosomal dominant condition. When a patient has ADH type 1, that patient will have low blood calcium level, a high serum phosphorus level. The parathyroid hormone level in the blood is also quite low. The symptoms of ADH1 are particularly troublesome when they include muscle cramping, tension in the muscles, numbness and tingling, particularly around the mouth and lips and in the fingertips and toes. Often difficulty concentrating, focusing, difficulty with their memory, and difficulty with day-to-day function.
When Craig's teacher wanted to hold him back in the first grade due to his trouble focusing, Bonnie searched for a doctor that would take his symptoms seriously.
I said, I think he has hypoparathyroidism because his dad has it. And I said, but nobody will believe me. And he said, well, we'll just do some blood work. So they ran the calcium, and sure enough, Craig, the reason he wasn't paying attention in school is because his calcium was too low. They called it idiopathic hypoparathyroidism, was the diagnosis. And that's when we were introduced to the pediatric endocrinologist.
Back in the 90s, I was going to a doctor in Augusta, Georgia, and he was giving me all the regular calcium and vitamin D, and we were also checking my kidney function, and we were trying to have a happy median between a good calcium and good kidney function. And we were getting the good calcium, but the kidney function was getting worse and worse. Part of the problem with the calcium building up in the kidneys is you get kidney stones. I have what they call nephrocalcinosis, which is a calcified kidneys. I talked with the doctor, and he said, there was really nothing we could do except you can stop taking all the calcium. I decided, let's try it and see. And I learned what my limitations were. I couldn't continue with not taking medication for this condition. I had to do something.
Desperate for answers, Craig searched the internet and found the Hypoparathyroidism Association, where he was able to learn about clinical research being done and was even part of a clinical trial. One of the requirements, a genetic test.
And that's when I was diagnosed with ADH1. Finally, somebody has diagnosed me, because all my life, I was told that they just didn't know. I did this study so I could better know what my condition was. But it's also the kids that have this condition they won't go through what I went through.
Making the diagnosis of ADH1 can be challenging. Patients can go a very long time without having the correct diagnosis be made. ADH1 is a form of hypoparathyroidism, and many patients who have ADH1 don't actually get a specific diagnosis at the time that they're diagnosed as having a genetic or a non-surgical form of hypoparathyroidism. The way that I approach the diagnosis of ADH1 would of course start with careful biochemical testing, the low blood calcium, parathyroid hormone level, the phosphorus level, and looking at the 24-hour urinary calcium excretion. So to make the diagnosis of ADH1, definitively one needs a genetic test, and I'm happy to say that no-charge genetic testing can be done. I like to make sure that that individual has genetic counseling after that diagnosis is made, and family members should be offered testing with blood calcium levels and parathyroid hormone levels. And if there's any question at all, they can undergo genetic testing themselves. So once the diagnosis is made of ADH1, it's very important for that individual to be seen by an endocrinologist who's comfortable with managing this disorder. If kidney stones, kidney insufficiency, or chronic kidney disease have occurred, often patients benefit from seeing a kidney specialist or nephrologist. We don't have a treatment that addresses the base problem in ADH1. So the standard management is one where one must very carefully manage calcium and activated vitamin D intake on these patients. If hypercalcemia occurs, kidney function can be damaged, and if high urinary calcium levels occur, this can lead to kidney stones, infections, and even reduced kidney function.
You know, when I was younger, I assumed that everything was calcium related in my life. So I would over-medicate, and I think that might have been attributed to my kidney problems that I have right now. Being diagnosed early would have stopped that.
So an ideal therapy for ADH type 1 would be a therapy that targets the calcium sensing receptor. And this could be a small molecule or a drug which changes the sensitivity of that receptor to the ambient calcium concentration it's in, both in the context of the parathyroid and in the kidney. So clinical trials are incredibly important in rare diseases like ADH type 1. They advance the science of the disease. They allow us to understand what a mutation does in the context of a human, and they're critically important for developing and testing and validating and getting approved new and effective therapies for the condition. So to the newly diagnosed patient, I would say we're going to have a long-term good relationship working together to make sure that you don't experience the complications of too much treatment, that you're carefully treated and carefully monitored, and that you know as much as possible about the best care that you can take for yourself and for your family.
Just make sure if you're concerned about a condition with your child, keep looking till you find somebody that'll listen to you, because that's what I had to do.
I was stronger because of her, you know, because you know, she didn't let my disease rule me. She's the reason why I am today.
For more information on hypoparathyroidism, visit these websites.
Of course, you can always get more information if you go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Eating clean can sometimes be a challenge. We should not have to sacrifice taste and texture when we're trying to eat better and cleaner. So what options do we have? Well, Asha Reuter is here from Bentilia, and she's going to tell us more about their red lentil pasta. It's a meal you can feel good about putting on your plate and in your mouth. Asha, we're hearing all about red lentil pasta. Everywhere I go, red lentil pasta, red lentil pasta. You've got the best one. Give me the skinny. What's it all about?
Yeah, so we have a couple different products. Our Bentilia line is red lentil flour only, so one ingredient. It's high in protein, high in fiber, naturally rich in iron and folate, and all the other antioxidants you need. And then our Bentilia 10 is the red lentil flour as well, but it has 10 superfoods included in it.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So I've got 3 dishes that we worked up here right now. And I used the penne right over here in 2 dishes. I made a penne salad. And this is vegetarian, right? So I've got the cooked penne. And by the way, it takes minutes. In fact, I've got water over here that's just coming to a boil. You take the pasta, you pop it inside over here, you give it a twist and shout, stir it all around. 6, 7, 8 minutes, it gets al dente. 8, 9, 10 minutes, it's a little bit more cooked, right? So I'm gonna cook this for like 5 minutes because then I'm gonna bake in the oven from there. But we're gonna go back to this dish, all right? Bring me back to my childhood dreams of shaved Brussels sprouts and lemon juice and sun-dried cranberries, parsley, toasted pine nuts, and a little pecorino romano, the sheep's milk, right? It's nice, it's got a little sharp to it, it's delicious. That's my vegetarian game, right? Over here, I'm a carnivore sometimes, right? So I got pasta fagioli, pasta fazool, as you say it, right? So I've got a rich chicken broth that we made with celery and onions and tomato paste. I added to that some Swiss chard, cooked it all together with some Italian sausage, and then, of course, the star of the show, the Bentilia pasta goes in there. So it's rich in protein. I'm good for me. I feel great. I got the fiber, the antioxidants.
Yep.
But now over here, I'm going to talk about our dish, the Bentilia 10. Now, the 10 stands for what?
There's 10 superfood ingredients.
Do you know the 10?
I do know the 10.
Tell me what you got.
Okay, we got broccoli, kale, spinach, chlorella, cranberries, sunflower seeds, pumpkin, sweet potato, maitake, and shiitake mushrooms.
Boom, you got them all.
Okay.
And every one of those individually are perfect. But when mashed up together, mixed with the red lentil flour, and that's it, right? The red lentil flour, those superfoods, and that's all the whole story to make this work, right?
So it's perfect for mom whose kid doesn't want to eat vegetables. Now you just feed them pasta.
You know, so I got little kids, right? So I'm always trying to find slippery new ways to slide the veg in when they're not looking, right? So you got to be sneaky sometimes. So this is a great way to do it. So I'm going to sneak this in right here. So I've got the Bentilia 10, right? That's rich in all those superfoods. To that, I told you I was going to go vegan, right? So I could go carnivore or vegan, and I'm going to go vegan today. So there's old school sausage, new school plant-based sausage, right? So we get plant-delicious in here right now, or plant-tricious.
Plant-tricious.
I like plant-tricious, right? So I've got my sausage now. I've got mozzarella, and I've got vegan mozzarella. I'm gonna go the vegan style. We're gonna use tofu right now. The same game happens, right? It makes it creamy and rich, and it really makes this Bentilia 10 scream out loud, eat me, right? We're gonna mix that in. And to that, I got my tomato sauce. Goes in like this. And then you want to help me out? Can you pick up that Italian seasoning that's right there?
I can.
Yeah, sprinkle it all in there. Put it all in. And then put it over there. And I'm going to grab that garlic. You want to grab that garlic? I'm going to put about half this garlic in there. All right, just in case. I'm going to put it all in there.
Put it all.
Oh, come on. My wife, she's going to love me later on tonight. She's going to love me when I kiss her. All right, so we mix this all up. Right, goes in the oven. And the great thing about the Bentilia 10 is, you know, a lot of the gluten-free pastas, and unfortunately, because I like them all and I like to cook with them, but they all break apart, right? They don't have texture. But the Bentilia got nothing but texture.
That's what's perfect about Bentilia. You really don't, you're not giving anything up when you switch to gluten-free or plant-based pasta with this.
Perfect. Now, into the casserole dish we go. Everybody's inside, right? I'm gonna slide this one in. All right, and I'm gonna slide this one out. And then we're gonna talk about some more things, me and you. Pop that door shut. Oh, look at this. This looks, smells great. It's fantastic. Again, it's a couple of plates. Now tell me, everybody watching at home, where do they find Bentilia?
Yeah, they can go to bentilia.com or they can go to their local health food store. If it's not their local store, ask their store manager. They can bring it in for them.
Well, here you go. Here's a fork for you. Listen, for more information, you can go to bentilia.com. And there's always the opportunity to go to our website, thebalancingact.com. Now, I'd like to remind you that this has been a quick bite. I'm going to get some of this right now. So good.
Right.
But chew slowly.
As many as 60 million Americans tend to have a hard time qualifying for credit cards and other loans. That's a lot. This makes it so difficult for them to recover from financial setbacks. The good news is there are companies that can help ease and help these folks get back on their feet. And that's what we want to do. Here with more is Advanced Financial Chief Executive and Chief Experience Officer, Tina Hodges. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Olga.
Thanks for being here. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's just talk with, just why so many people have a hard time qualifying for credit cards today.
Yeah, it's just like you said, there are so many families who are in urgent need of fast solutions. And credit cards, credit unions, banks, they've left this market and they've left these families with really not a lot of options.
Right.
And so that's where we come in to fill that gap, a quick response for a small amount of money. Most of our borrowers get about $1,000 and they get it in 24 hours.
That's pretty good. And it's not just credit cards, but loans as well, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Advanced Financial. Fill in the blanks for me.
Well, I could talk all day.
Okay.
I could talk all day.
We got
started
about
the company.
5 or 6 minutes
we
here.
started the company in 1996, and so we have been operating for 25 years more in Tennessee. We have 500 employees in Tennessee and over 100 stores in Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
And now we are offering all of our loan services across many, many states. You can find all of the states where we are active on af247.com.
So how do you decide who qualifies for your services?
Well, first and foremost, we never want to place a family in an undue burden when they're already in a financial strain. And so we want to make careful sure that we offer you the right amount of money for your situation.
Now, customer service is huge. I love great customer service. I think that's important when it comes to this process, but trust is also important. I see this beautiful woman. I can see she is helping a customer. How does that translate in terms of you reaching out to that person and saying, listen, we got you? How important is that customer service?
Well, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's not part of the process. It really is the process. And like I said earlier, we've been in business over 25 years, and we've learned that if our employees don't feel loved and trusted by us, then they're not going to show that love and trust to our customers. And we believe that if you're getting a $1,000 loan, you should be treated like you're getting a $10 million mortgage, because it's that important to you and your family. And so we believe that if we treat our employees that way, they're going to show that love and trust to our customers.
All right, I can hear someone asking out there. So how do you decide who qualifies for, a line of credit?
Okay, it's very simple. Go online, af247.com. The information you provide is so simple and easy. We just want to make sure that you can afford to pay back the amount that you need. So we want to give you a reasonable amount that's not going to overburden your family. And then we're going to check your bank account so that we can put that money right there for you same day.
Same day?
Same day.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah.
When customers go through that and they realize it, what do they say? Like, wow?
People are very excited that they can get their money the same day. Yeah, it's a huge success for people.
Tell me some success stories of people that really felt, there's nobody out there to help me.
A ton of success stories.
I'm sure you get
yes.
lots of feedback.
We get thank you notes routinely. We've had flowers brought to our office for employees and just said, you helped me, you changed my life. We have one customer that I'm actually friends with now, been through so much with him. He was actually in prison and he got out and wanted to start a business and just couldn't get anybody to give him a loan. And all he needed was that $2,000 to last him the first month or two. And now he has a great business and he comes back and tells us all the time.
And can you imagine that ever-changing moment that someone gave you that money so you can actually embark in something that you've been dreaming of or just wanting to do the right thing?
Right. And the banks, credit unions, credit cards, they've just left this market, this small dollar fast loan. And that's where we specialize.
You also specialize in the community. I'm looking at this picture. I see Here to Volunteer. What is this all about?
Yes, well, we do tons of community work. We actually pay our employees to volunteer. Some people say, well, that's not volunteerism if it's paid. But so many of our people are hourly, and we don't want them to have a short paycheck to be able to go out and do something in the community. And so we cover that pay where they would have missed. And it's great. I mean, we have so many partnerships all across our state. Like I said, our home offices are in Tennessee. And we just encourage people, get involved. Even if it's your own child's school, anywhere, get involved, and people love it.
Any final thoughts in terms of someone out there saying, you know what, I can't get that credit card, I can't get that loan? What would you say?
I would say try af247.com. It's quick and easy, and we will get you the money you need today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. And if you'd like more information, just go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
And remember to head to our Facebook page, like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and visit thebalancingact.com to enter our latest sweep sticker giveaway.
Because I say it over and over again, you might just win something. Stay safe. Love and family viewers. We'll see you next time.